another operator called the comma operator. Okay, this is a very interesting operator with some specific use cases. Okay, we'll see an example after this on how this is useful. Okay, let me show you how it works, right? So here, if you notice, I have declared 4 variables a, b, c and sum. Okay, so here is where, look at this statement, right? Look at this statement. So what did I say? I'm saying sum is equal to a equals to 8, b equals to 7, c equals to 9 and a plus b plus c. Right, here I'm using the comma operator. Look at this. Here I'm using the comma operator. And the way it will work is this. So it will start working from left to right. Okay, it will start working from left to right. Remember, A, B, C and sum are only declared. Nothing is initialized. So this is your LHS. This is your RHS, right? Now here what happens is, you want to allocate some value. You want to assign some value to sum. To do that, you have to evaluate this whole expression. Okay, what value you will assign to sum depends on evaluating this whole complex expression. And in this complex expression, you have commas here. How does this work? When you have an expression like this with commas, it will start from left to right. The moment you have a equals to 8, the value of a now becomes 8. Then it will evaluate this expression, which is b. So b will start store so now b will store 7. Then c will store 9, right? So these 3 things are executed. The last one that is executed here is a plus b plus c. Now what is a plus b plus c? 7 plus 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 plus 9 is 24. So a plus b plus c will evaluate to 24. Now the rightmost expression that is there in this comma separated expressions, its value will be allocated to sum. Right? Now sum will become equal to the rightmost expression. Look at the rightmost expression. The rightmost expression here is a plus b plus c. Because a is already 8, b is already 7, c is already 9. Because I executed this first, this second, this third. Now the final value of sum, the value that will be assigned to sum, will be a plus b plus c, which is 24. Now if you print sum, you will get a value of 24 as expected. And this is how a comma separated expression or the comma operator works in practice. Okay, 2 very simple things. If you have a complex or a compound statement like this with comma separation, it will start working from left to right, and the whole expression will return the value of the rightmost sub expression in this compound or complex expression. That's how this will work. Okay, so since we have understood how comma operator works, let's also look at a very simple example. Okay, it's also a very popular example. This example is all about swapping 2 variables. Look at this. Now when I run this, what happens? Now a is going to store 8, b is going to store 7. What I want to achieve by the end of this program is I want to swap these values, or I want to interchange these values. Finally, what I want is, I want 7 to be stored in A and 8 to be stored in B. This is what I want. So this is what I have at the start, and by the end of it, this is what I want. Now how do we get that? Now how do we achieve that? Let's go step by step and see that. Okay, so printf A and B. Okay, initially when I print A and B, I get A equals to 8 and B equals to 7. Perfectly all right. Next, look at this. So this is a comma separated complex statement. Now if you look at this, what is this? It says temp equals to A. So what is now stored in temp? Right? So this is where I'm starting, right? A has 8, B has 7. So temp equals to A, which means temp will now have a value of 8. A equals to B. A equals to B, which means A will have a value of 7. Right? Now B equals to temp. Now temp has a value of 8, so B will have a value of 8. Now if I print A and B, it will print 7 and 8, and this is what we wanted. So here what are we doing here? We are using a temporary variable. We are using a temporary variable to swap 2 values. Okay, very simple. And all of that I am able to do in a single line in a single line. This is basically a space saving mechanism. Of course, I could have written this in 3 lines. I could have written temp equals to A equals to B, and B equals to temp. I could have written this in 3 lines without doubt. I could have written this in 3 lines. But this is a more succinct, more crisp and more shorter way, a space saving way in terms of code. In one line, I'm writing the whole logic here, right? So here I'm using, recall that I'm using the comma separated. So here I'm using the comma separated expressions, right? I'm using the comma operator now, right? So since I don't have to allocate the final value of this expression to anything, there is nothing to do, unlike the previous program, right? So I hope this is this is a very simple example wherein instead of using 3 lines, I'm using a single line with the comma operator to make my code much more crisp and small.